Hi guys, I'm Mike.
And I'm Stephen.
And this is F1 Fanatics. Welcome back to another race preview, and technically Austria race 2, but I think it's the Styrian GP that we're calling it.
Yep.
It sounds about right. But obviously, only last week we had our first preview of the season, and now we've got the second one, and then next week we'll have the third one, because we start off the F1 2020 season with a triple header and back-to-back races at Austria here. So, in our usual preview setup, we usually do some stats. Well, pretty much the only stat probably of note from last week that's changed, that with Valtteri Bottas winning the Grand Prix, if he wins again on Sunday, he then becomes the equal most successful driver at Austria.
Alongside Alain Prost.
Alongside Alain Prost. But that's that. So what we're going to do in this one is we'll jump straight into the Mike's Amateur Lap. Then we will do our buzz review. It should be pretty fresh in everyone's mind, and it was a little bit chaotic. You can check out our kind of more detailed thoughts in our race review podcast that was earlier in the week, and what we rated the drivers with our driver ratings earlier in the week as well. Then we will just preview and look ahead of kind of taking what we learnt from last weekend and what we think might happen this weekend. And that pretty much rounds it up, other than the 3 bold predictions. What we think might happen in this week's Austria GP. And it's a shame we didn't go too bold last week, because
things went crazy.
Things indeed went crazy. But let's get into this preview and start here. So, last week you had Mike's Amateur Lap. Now you've got Mike's Amateur Lap on the new F1 2020 game. That was obviously released this week, and we had, for the first time in a while actually, we had the new F1 game actually on the day it was released, so that was pretty cool. So enjoy the lap. And here we go, guys, it's time for another Mike's Amateur Lap, and this week we are in the Mercedes, obviously, because Mercedes won last time out in a commanding performance from Valtteri Bottas. And so we start the lap here, so we go all the way up the hill to turn 1, and actually surprisingly take quite a good line through there for once. Will there be any action this Sunday? All the cars got through relatively quick, but we are currently in the first proper DRS zone of the lap, coming into turn 3 now, the heavy braking zone, which then you accelerate out into the second DRS zone, and often a kind of favourite overtaking spot in this DRS zone for a lot of cars making it before they get to turn 4. Not unless you're Alexander Albon, of course, who tried to go around the outside of Lewis Hamilton here. They clashed, Lewis Hamilton with a 5-second penalty, and unfortunately Alexander Albon's chance of a podium went with him. Oh, very wide there through turn 6, and then we come through turn 7 and 8, the kind of weaving downfall section of the track before going up to the hill, the blind crest over the top, the pits on the right, but we're not going in there, through turn 9. Can we complete turn 10 to make a good lap? Little bit wide through there. Oh, I said the lap was deleted. Oh no, but anyway, that is another Mike's Amateur Lap. Enjoy the rest of the preview. So, Valtteri Bottas. I've still not recorded Mike's Amateur Lap at the time of this recording, so I don't know whether I beat. So, in the comments below, obviously get involved. Let us know whether I beat my own amateur lap. I don't even know what the time was last week.
No, by the time the video gets uploaded.
True. I'm going to go Mercedes because, you know, Bottas, he won last week. It makes sense to kind of go from there. But we now move into the buzz review of kind of last week's race. So starting off with Max Verstappen retirement. Everyone was so positive. Hamilton's penalty before race. Max starting on P2 on a different strategy. You know, was keeping pace with Bottas, but obviously Bottas had built a gap. What was it going to be? How was the race going to unfold? And bam! Rolling down the hill, or just with no power. Poor Max Verstappen retired from the race. Next up.
Number 4. Safety car, safety car, safety car. We had, was it 3 in the end?
I think so, yeah.
2 were very close to each other. Yeah. Don't often see 3 safety cars in a race. It spiced things up definitely. Could have thrown Mercedes off that top spot in the end. But yeah, chaos.
Certainly could have, and I think combining safety car and just the general retirements, like only 11 cars finished the race. There were 9 retirees in the end, which is a little bit mental for the first race. We made the joke in the race review podcast that have we gone back to the 80s and 90s? They want their reliability back.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was absolutely a crazy, chaotic race. But the next point that we're going to go on to is McLaren's pace. Qualified incredibly well. Lando Norris getting P4, but starting P3 with that penalty to Lewis Hamilton pre-race. Had a really solid and strong race throughout. If Racing Point hadn't mucked up their strategy, would he have got on the podium? We don't know, but all you can benefit from is the kind of mistakes that other people do and drive as best race as you can. And that last lap that Lando Norris put in to get within the 5-second window of Lewis Hamilton and get on the podium was incredible. So a fantastic weekend for McLaren, getting on the podium again. So that's now 2 podiums in 3 races for them, which is pretty impressive.
Looking very good indeed. Number 2 is...
Wait. Interesting stat on that one.
Stat drop.
Mercedes, Ferrari and McLaren. That is the first time they've all been on the podium in the turbo hybrid era.
Ooh. When was the last time ever?
Don't know.
Hit you with a counter stat there.
You've got homework.
Could not match.
Damn! Bam! Hit me back. Take that one! Oh, sorry, I can't. I don't have the knowledge. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Number 2 is controversy, and that is of course Albon, Hamilton, yet again a collision. Was it Hamilton's fault? Should Albon be more patient? Racing incident, 5-second penalty.
You decide.
And you can argue from any point of view it's happened, but it added that bit of drama to the race that every race kind of needs.
Certainly did. Certainly did, and it was certainly a very interesting incident.
Yes.
That's for sure. And next one up is Charles Leclerc's surprisingly good performance. Ferrari, Friday, terrible car. Saturday, God, barely made it into Q3 and just about scraped P7. Race day, P2.
P2.
Obviously, there's an element of good fortune it was to it, but it was a brilliant drive by Charles Leclerc in an absolute dog of a Ferrari. Top work from Charles in his first season opener.
Indeed it was. But final point, Mercedes, known for their excellent maintenance, I guess. Well, they've had a few issues here and there, but compared to the rest of the grid, their record is pretty spotless. But it was all going wrong in Austria. Again, the gearbox issues, both drivers being told it was critical, they weren't going over the curves. It looked like that could have cost them the race win. But fortunately for them...
Albon went spinning.
Yeah, Albon went spinning. But it kind of showed a bit of a dink in their armour.
Yeah, definitely was kind of... it's rarity, but I think Mercedes will be glad to see the back of Austria, because obviously we had the cooling problems in the 2019 season, and it's never quite, since 2016 at least, been a happy place for them. It's always, although I suppose 2017 was won by Valtteri Bottas, but yes, certainly the past couple of years hasn't necessarily been the greatest for them in terms of luck on this circuit, but they still look like they have an incredible car, and they certainly go into the weekends probably favourites. But that rounds up the kind of buzz review of the last race there, obviously very recent in the memory, being only last Sunday. But yeah, we move on to the preview of this weekend, and what are your gut thoughts so far, Stephen?
I'm feeling it's going to be much of the same. Teams don't really have enough time to prepare. Maybe the likes of Renault with Ricciardo suffering in qualifying from the Bottas incident, and then engine failures in the race. Maybe it'll be good to see him that he was looking good before he retired, so maybe we'll see him challenging for those McLarens and racing points. Other than that, who else didn't we see? Racing points, Stroll obviously went out, and Perez's strategy was the wrong one, basically, in the end. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they do.
Yeah, I
expect more from them this weekend, I think.
Certainly, I definitely think Racing Point will finish best of the rest this weekend because I think they have the pace, and I don't think they'll make the same reliability aside. I don't think on the strategy side of things they'll make the same mistake twice. In terms of that, Mercedes, I still feel they're favourite for a 1-2, although they've come out and said this week that the W11 has a fundamental issue with the gearbox, and you don't think that can be solved within a week, but it's Mercedes.
It's Mercedes.
So I wouldn't be surprised in terms of that. And Red Bull, their nearest competitors on track, hardly had the best weekend to put pressure on them.
Exactly, yeah.
So, I think they go into the weekend favourites again. That W11 just really does look an incredible car. But Red Bull, I'd expect, obviously, the issues with Max, I expect him to probably have a good weekend.
I think Christian Horner's come out and said every race now is a cup final, so we've got to expect everything from Red Bull.
Well, yeah, absolutely. They've got no points from the first weekend, so they're already massively on the back foot in the Constructors and the Drivers' Championships. But, you've got to see where this kind of goes, and will Max be able to push the Mercedes to a point that gearbox becomes an issue in a race? That is going to be an interesting one at the front. And will Alexander Albon be there to take advantage with him? How will Alexander Albon, when he've learned from his kind of thing? It was a strong start to the season. It was a consistent performance. He just, he went for the hero move and it didn't quite pay off. But, he shows that he still is rapidly improving and learning within the sport. How will he fare this weekend? That's going to be definitely an interesting one. Ferrari, I expect to just drop off.
Yeah.
I don't expect them to have
I can't see another podium for them, but if we have another crazy race, you never know.
Yeah, but we said that after qualifying. Fingers crossed for another crazy race, but I do think the midfield will be an interesting battle between Racing Point, Sainz, Norris and Ricciardo. I don't think Ocon's going to be in that battle quite yet. He was showing some rustiness, and I don't think the kind of week in between is going to massively improve his performance on that front. The rest after that, AlphaTauri will kind of be there or thereabouts, but I think off those top guys, Pierre Gasly will probably come out on top there, and then the Alfa Romeos, I suppose it's will George Russell on pace, generally finishing ahead of the Haas and the Alfa Romeos? That would be the question. Because they look very positive from week one. Yeah.
Just hopeful, George, if the car keeps going, to see where he can actually put it.
Absolutely. But podium predictions now. Who do we think is going to be the podium on Sunday? Now, we got it terribly wrong last week.
What did we go for last week?
We went exactly the same. I'm pretty sure.
Lewis, Max, Bottas?
I'm pretty sure it was Max, Lewis, Bottas. We both backed Max to win.
Yes.
That didn't come off.
I'm going to go the same. Max, Lewis, Bottas. No, I think Lewis, Bottas, Max.
I'm going to go for the fun of it that the Mercedes are going to struggle with the gearbox and go Max, Albon, Lewis.
Ooh.
I'm going to have double Red Bull finishing ahead. I'm just going to say, just because it'd be exciting to see the race like that, wouldn't it be nice to be going into the, after two races, two different teams winning a race, and
well, Red Bull need that one too. So yeah,
they certainly do, to kind of recover from the points lost in week one. But that's our podium. So now on to the way to round off this preview, which is just a little bit of fun. You got your three bold predictions rolled up in there?
Nope.
Okay. So should I go first?
Yeah.
Okay, right. In honour, because Ash still isn't here, I'm going to start off with the nice and easy one. Is that George Russell will make it into Q2 this week, and he was very close to this one though. wasn't he? He was only about 0.03 of a second out, something like that. He was very close to making it through. So, GR, don't let me down. You're getting into Q2, buddy. We believe in you.
I'm not sure if this one's a bold one, considering looking at the first week, but Ferrari not finishing in the points.
Well, it could be considered bold.
Yeah.
But both Ferraris not finishing in the points.
Yeah, I'll go both.
Okay. Okay.
That makes it bolder.
Yeah. Right. To go against what I said my podium was going to be, I'm going to say that we're going to keep with the carnage of last week.
Just say it. I know what's coming.
Sergio Perez is on the podium. But Sergio Perez and Lando Norris will get a second podium in 2 weeks.
You put both of them on the podium.
And no Mercedes on the podium, and Max Verstappen wins the race. Max, Sergio, Lando. Bang. That's the podium. Bold prediction number 2. Come at me.
I'm going to say first corner is taken from yours last week. This time, people probably were playing a bit safe last week, but I think they're going to be going for it a bit more. First corner, 5-car pile up. Red flag.
Yep, that'll do it. And I'm going to stick on the retirement themes. And I'm going to say that only 9 cars are classified finishers.
Whew.
9 cars.
Classified.
Jeez. Yep. So 9 classified finishes.
Who does the extra point go to?
No one.
Damn.
Nobody gets those points. It's just a vacant point. It's in the air. Third, 9 classified finishers in the race. It's going to be carnage again. 11. But we had a brilliant race on Sunday, and this one's going to be a brilliant one too. So rounding off with your bold predictions, Stephen.
Okay. Forecast is looking, yet again, there could be a bit of rain in the air. End up 1-2 Mercedes, going completely fine. Thunderstorms, rain, both of them spin out and fly into the barriers. Mercedes out. Daniel Ricciardo comes out of nowhere, wins the whatever Grand Prix. Austria Mark II.
Wins the whatever Grand Prix. Champagne! Champagne! Oh, can you imagine? Daniel Ricciardo gets a podium for Renault before he leaves for McLaren. That would be crazy, wouldn't it? Right, that's our 3 bold predictions. As always, we like to go incredibly bold. The wilder, the better. In fact, it's even better if it's more likely not to come true, because in some weird alternate dimension that it does actually come true, you look amazing.
It'll be great.
It'll be great.
Yeah.
Well done. Congratulations, Daniel Ricciardo, on winning the 2020 Styrian GP.
Styrian GP. I preferred my version.
Whatever GP! Hey! But that's it from us. We're done.
Okay.
We're going to end this.
Right.
We're good. He's back. We're back. No, but we're going. But anyway, yeah, get involved in the comments below. Obviously, we're still probably on the high and the buzz of last week's Grand Prix. This one has a lot to live up for, but I'm pretty sure Austria will deliver. It is a track that always tends to deliver action on track. It may not be as good as the previous week, but he's hoping. In terms of that, we're just going to be enjoying the fact that racing is back, and that is enjoyable. Again!
Bam!
Back.
Then we got Hungary. Bam!
And we got a break.
There we go.
And we got a break. Anyway, if you're new around here, or you haven't done so already, and you like what we do on the channel, Stephen, what can they do?
They can like, they can subscribe, and they can ding that bell.
Ding that bell. But that's it from us, guys. So for now, you F1 fans, keep racing.